Everyone, I did some digging on this account. Unfortunately, you can see from their post on the 30th of September that they are using AI to create the footage. Just look at the airport sign, the way the people are galloping away. Someone holding hands with another person suddenly fused into some kind of column in the middle of the room. So I don't buy it. The account is even claiming that the original post has gone missing, yet they made a post one day ago. Let's wait and see. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you all enjoyed it, and if you did, please drop a like on the video and subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and I post every day at 8 PM. But for now, stay well, stay safe, and stay curious. Until next time.